Hello and welcome to Scarlet Serpent Readings. Thank you so much for joining me for today's pick a card reading, timeless pick a card reading. This one is going to be an urgent message from your spiritual team. Of course, this is a general reading, so just keep that in mind when receiving these messages and take what resonates. So I have 3 piles for you here. Pile 1 is going to be this clear quartz cluster. Hopefully you could kind of see it. There we go. Clear quartz for pile 1. Pile 2 is going to be rose quartz. I almost forgot what this was, or at least the name of it, but this is a rose quartz. And then finally, pile 3 is going to be sunstone sphere. Okay. So go ahead and intuitively choose your pile. If you need some more time, you could go ahead and pause the video, and the timestamps, as always, are going to be in the description box, and I'll meet you at your pile. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the clear quartz cluster, this is going to be your reading. And I just want to say real quick, thank you so much for watching, for your time, and especially for those of you who are subscribed. It really makes a huge difference to me. And I appreciate the comments as well. So if it resonates, just let me know. So what I'm gonna look at right now is why this is urgent. What's making this urgent before jumping into the actual message. I might draw some additional tarot to clarify or ask different questions, and then we'll finally get like an entity or spirit energy that is assisting you at this time regarding the situation. So, okay, so this is urgent because of 10 of Pentacles. I feel like this is something that you deserve. Kind of that, I don't want to say like happy ending, but that support. This, and you know what it is? It's so that you could share it with others. I feel like have been, and usually we get the analogy of the empty cup, or you can't give from a cup that's not full. I get that same sense with material wealth as well, and not just material wealth, but kind of being really comfortable, and sharing that comfort with others. Excuse me. So this could be something as easy as, or not easy, but just an example of like taking friends out to dinner and treating, or buying someone something. But I think you've been wanting to have that experience of giving more. You have like a really big heart and you want to share things, and because this is a card of Mercury, that's part of your expression. That's part of what it's almost trying to come out of you, and maybe this is something that's been, you haven't been able to do it to the fullest extent that you've wanted to, and that's why this is urgent. Like it's urgent because you really want this, and it's a bit overdue for you. And again, this isn't the 9 of Pentacles, this is the 10, so it's sharing with others. That's the big next step for you. The clarifying cards for why this is urgent is the 5 of Embers, which is the 5 of Wands, and then the Weaver, which is the Page of Swords. Interesting clarification. With the 5 of Embers, I believe this is Mars energy, and I don't remember actually, sorry, but anyway, this is Wands energy, and it's creating a lot of smoke. It's it might be self-conflicting, where you feel like suffocating, like you can't express, and that's why also it's kind of closing you in when you want to be big, you want to be seen as big, you want to just embody big energy. I don't know if that makes sense. It's almost like a physical, well, for me everything's physical, even spiritual stuff, like I feel it physically, so it might be something like that, or however you resonate with that, but actually that sense of expansion and expression. With the Weaver here, I feel like getting to that 10 of Pentacles could come through writing specifically, or at least sharing a story. And there's also a sense of probably an angelic okay, yeah. When I said sharing a story, my solar plexus kind of just went like that. So that's probably your creative endeavor that you're trying to manifest, and that's something that wants to, yeah, you have an experience to share. This isn't only necessarily writing, but it's pretty strong, that, and I think part of what you want to share is your experience of being, I guess, in a bit of a battlefield with either people around you, with the mindsets of others, or just the story of how you became big. I don't know if that makes sense, but like spiritually as well, or you overcame a small, let's say, company that just wasn't growing, and you just want to share that expansion through storytelling or through some sort of creative endeavor. Okay, so let's get to the message. That was just kind of what makes it urgent. Like a story is trying to come out of you, really, and that story is, I feel, going to bring that 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so the message, I just have one card for the message, and then I'll elaborate with more tarot, but the message is the 6 of Pentacles. You know, with, I guess, reciprocation here, but I feel like it's your turn to, I was going to say receive, actually. Like, you've given a lot. The receiving comes from that material wealth, like the 10 of Pentacles, as I have mentioned earlier in this deck here. It's time for you to receive it, because the hands are open with this imagery, and that's something that's, as I said, overdue, which is why it feels urgent, why it might be why things feel a little unbalanced in the material sense. And the people want you to receive so you can give back, because, I mean, that's the message. We're going to elaborate on kind of specifics actually now, if we could elaborate on that. But it's like people around you would benefit if you had wealth, you know, if you felt really comfortable, so comfortable that you could share, and not just your spiritual wisdom, but how you were able to make it, not to say you haven't made it financially, but to the next level, where you could really go on vacation whenever, you're not limited in any way. I think there's a sense of overcoming limitation. So let's see. I guess we're just going to elaborate on the main message here. I usually don't, they all came face up, so I'm like overwhelmed right now with energy. The 4 of Wands, I'll just mention all of them and then get back to it. So we have the 4 of Wands, we have the Hanged Man, we have the Devil, we have the Knight of Swords. So the Swords is coming through twice, and I really think that's you. And again, I don't know if this was the Page of Swords or the Knight. I don't always tie it back, because this is technically an oracle deck, but this is you, right? You're someone who has a message, a story to tell. You're very intellectual, and I think part of the gift that you have to give to people is kind of translating obscure spiritual stuff and grounding it into reality, and grounding it into, again, a physical manifestation, so people can kind of comprehend it. I think this is on a massive scale as well, and it doesn't have to be like lessons in that way, where it's like this is this and this is that. This is more of a creative way. It's like an indirect way of describing your spiritual experience. It looks like this figure is holding a stone, and they are armored, and there's, again, like a bird. It's very hard to see this bird, but it is there. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a cloud. If the camera wants to cooperate, I don't know. There we go. It's up here in this corner. Can you see it? And that's the same wings. So definitely a strong angelic presence. And I think that's part of what wants to be written through you, is You could take it even as like your transformation to becoming an angel, like an earth angel, or at the same time kind of channeling that angelic energy into a story, really. With the Four of Wands, I feel like you really want to take care of people, and that you could still do that. It's Venus in Aries, very loving, maybe taking care of children as well. But what I'm getting at is guiding others through love, being a mentor to others. There's a lot of mentor energy in this reading so far, especially since all of these cards that I drew are describing the main message, which is the Six of Pentacles. So it's like guiding people through an experience they don't really know. If you're someone who the ascension process, if that's something you resonate with, at least that experience, you can guide others who are going through it for the first time and don't really know what's going on. I think that's part of what this message is. And I think this is the message, so you could kind of refocus what to do, because that might be something as well, that you have a lot of energy but you don't really know where to put it. So if you were to narrow it into helping others through sharing your experience in a creative way, I think that's part of what that is. We have the Hanged Man and the Devil here. I think it's this could be seen as the Hermit kind of in a way, but this Hanged Man has a shadow side as well in the face. So I feel like it's also a story of describing the shadow within you and acknowledging it. And if you had struggled with addiction or just with trying to get away from, I don't like saying toxic relationships, but that's kind of what's happening, where it's like vampire, this and that. Your experience with how you overcame that is part of what's going to bring, again, that Ten of Pentacles energy. And being detached is actually really helpful in this whole thing when it comes to not just reflecting on the situations you've been in, but watching it in others. I think that's a big one. So we're just clarifying this. Oops. So we have the Two of Cups clarifying the Four of Wands. It's really interesting because both of them are Venus. Both of these are Venus energy. So it's like, really, love is what's driving you to connect with people, and that's going to be your strength here. That's why that Venus energy, that love, is what makes you want to share the Ten of Pentacles that I'd shown earlier, and that's why you deserve it, to be honest. But your fortune isn't going to come through traditional means. It's going to come through your own creation, through your own, again, storytelling here. We have the Knight of Swords for the Hanged Man. So I feel as though with this, and we do have the Knight of Swords coming up twice, potentially 3 times. Wow. Okay. And I noticed that the imagery, though, is quite different. There's one knight or page who's sitting. There's one knight who's standing, and then there's one knight who's not even really on the card. So your ability to express will depend on how fast or slow your mind is moving, or even your physical body. Sitting, standing, being still is where you're able to really it's kind of like the more still you are, the more ideas you get. Does that make sense? Like, it's through that distant observation where you could really stand in this energy of kind of analysis. Yeah. Well, this is the king. Whoops. Anyway. Oh, okay. So this is in an evolution of you, where it goes from page to knight to king. There we go. The page was the desire to tell a story. The knight is actually formulating ideas and evolving. You know, the knight comes through that observation, as I said. But sometimes it can happen a little too quickly. And then the king is what's going to put you to the next level. We have the Wheel of Fortune describing the devil. So the devil is actually very positive in this, in that your experience with this energy is what gives you a story to tell people. You know, that's where, that's the material that you have to give to others, is that experience with that kind of energy of being trapped. But again, that's kind of a reference to the 5 of embers that I mentioned earlier, of being overwhelmed by other people who are, you know, not really conscious in many ways. And then finally we have the King of Swords, which is clarified by the Fool, both facing the same direction. Yeah, and I think this Fool and King are really, really close together. I don't know if the Fool is associated with air element. I like to think so, because it's kind of flighty and free, and in that way. And I think another bird is there too, and they both have the same kind of hand gesture. It's like expressing what they've seen freely. Like you'll get to a point, if you haven't already, where the ideas come and you just express them. You don't really what might have slowed you down is trying to make it perfect, especially if it's writing, or any kind of creative expression. Is like the first time it comes out, it has to be perfect, and that might be that devil energy as well, as opposed to it's on the page and you could fix it later, you could edit it later, but just get it out. And then but there's a lot of really positive energy through your expression. So just, again, prioritize it. I know you might be busy doing other things, but this is how you get what you deserve, financially, specifically. Because the Wheel of Fortune and the Fool were here as well. So let's just go ahead and grab one final Oracle card. I love this deck because it has like a keyword, it has a crystal, and it has Ascended Masters, angels, and goddesses. So there's a lot going on in here. So we'll just see what energy is with you, supporting you with this creative. That's a lot going on. Creative endeavor that you're on. And I guess you have a lot of support. That's probably why there were so many angels. I'm just going to take all of these, actually. Okay, so we have Ascended Master Mary Magdalene with Divine Alchemy. We have Angel Lahabiel with Black Tourmaline. The Archangel Aniel with Pink Calcite Acceptance. And Angel Asda and Carnelian with Nourishment. I think with these two specifically, this is about that devil energy that we had mentioned earlier. Accepting that it was there, that experience was there, that part of you was there, and that it's almost a driving force. That's what the purification, that alchemy is, that it's transmuting into something really helpful for other people. So that experience you've gone through was not in vain. Then we have acceptance. That would definitely have to do as well with the experience you had. So you might have felt, again, bogged down with that 5 of Wands, but it was going towards something that'll benefit others. And that also shows me that love energy that we had mentioned earlier with the Venus. There we go. Whoops. And then finally I have Nourishment with Carnelian. This is the driving force that goes here. Feeling very grounded with yourself and utilizing that creative expression from the root, especially from your root chakras, and bringing that up. So it's bringing that potentially dense energy and again transmuting it and allowing that to express itself. So a lot of really positive stuff going on here. It's just a refocusing of energy and just allowing yourself to put the ideas down, because you're definitely getting them. Hopefully this reading was helpful. Please let me know how I did in the comments, and I hope to see you in future readings. Take care. Hi Pile 2, if you chose the Rose Quartz, this is going to be a reading, and I have for you 3 cards really. One is going to be what makes this an urgent message, why is it urgent, and then the next card is going to be the message, and then we'll elaborate on that next card with some additional tarot. So this is urgent because of the 5 of Swords. That's what's there. Conflict, that I feel like you're this egg that you're trying to get away from, some sort of mental conflict. It's kind of like the mental noise of some sort of chaos around you, that you're being nudged out of. And I say that because this card was described by the Unknown, which is, I think, actually I don't remember if this is Judgment. It might be the Judgment card. It's like your destiny is to leave this situation. It's kind of like your life purpose is your journey out, but you don't really know. You don't know what that's going to be like. And so it's kind of that leap of faith in a way into a place that you aren't very familiar with. Wow, the imagery is interesting though, because the next card that we have that is the message is, oh, it's the same. Wow, it's the same card. It's the Judgment card. I think that's what 20 is. Look at that. Very similar imagery for 2 completely different decks. It's like a freeing of yourself, and that experience of becoming free is, if I was gonna say even your life purpose, but that's what you're being called on now. It's very big. This is very big, because the Judgment card is coming up twice. It was describing why it's urgent. So let's dig a little deeper into this Judgment card. What is the message? You might have to choose to leave though. That's a good thing. Oops. And I think you're going to teach people how to step into their life purpose as well, once you've really found yours. Because that might have been something you were struggling with at some point, like, or maybe even that life purpose has changed, you know. But really stepping into it, because once you know your path, then it's either you know your path or you embrace not knowing. That's probably what that Unknown card is about. It's like you'll allow Spirit to take you and your guides to take you. Okay, so I was gonna move this, but excuse me, it fell. These 2 cards fell on the why it's urgent, so I'm gonna read these first. Actually, I'll move this over. We have the 9 of Cups and then the Queen of Wands. This deck has 2 different Queen of Wands energy, and I never bothered to read the book. I usually don't, to be honest. But one Queen of Wands holds a snake and the other one holds lightning. So I'll just show that to you now. I was hearing the song Lord of Lightning. I highly doubt anyone who's watching this knows King Gizzard the Lizard Wizard. Anyway, that's the song. It's like stepping into your power and prioritizing your own happiness. And I think that's what's moving you out of this situation, is that you're realizing all this fighting, all of this mental noise from other people is not where you're at, and it's not your priority, and you're kind of stepping outside of that. And that's what's gonna make you feel free. Very just notice the colors and that imagery, the blue making way for pink, and really expression. Lots of freedom here. And that's why it's lightning. It's very sudden and fierce. Yeah. So let's get the description of. We're just elaborating on this Justice card. We have the Four of Swords. I get the same imagery. Yeah. Look at that. The way the air moves. It's almost the exact same. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. So this will obviously come to you through meditation. That's that expansive awareness of solitude and digging into yourself is how you'll expand into something bigger than what you currently are. And it'll take you to the next step, which is, I think, what you've been really waiting for. It's like you're in an environment that's not for you at all. We have the King of Pentacles. So King and Queen here. It's like you have a gift to share with the world. That's part of your life purpose, is sharing your abilities. This could be psychic abilities. Looking forward. Let's see what he's looking at. Oh, the moon. So, okay, with the unknown, again, it's like your gift is embracing the unknown. It's kind of like that's where you find wisdom, is through that kind of ether, that kind of undefined substance. And that's your gift, is your comfort in that unknowing. That feels like your life purpose, is kind of waking people up to, I guess, beyond the veil, that sort of thing. We have the King of Swords. So two kings here. I feel like you have a very focused mind, very focused, very capable of meditating for long periods of time. Even if not, you're just very aware of yourself. There's this very strong self-awareness here. And there's also a lot of different court cards. So, and all of the court cards, King and Queen. So the people that you collaborate with are masters of their element as well, and you could observe, what it is to master different things. So like someone who's very passionate knows how to not just have that energy but focus it appropriately. And then we have the King of Swords, who knows how to use their mental energy to maybe be telepathic. And then we have the King of Pentacles, who is able to create something physical, and I think through that team you might be able to achieve something bigger. Then we have, with the King of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, which is celebration. It's like people acknowledge this version of you. And again, there's this sense of wisdom here. It just feels like wisdom. Through moving through this energy of like the ocean at night, where it's very mysterious, but you navigate it very well, and it's not like a deliberate trailblazer sort of thing. It's your navigation of that energy, of that realm, comes through complete faith in your spiritual team, and that faith, that connection that you have with them, is what makes you so powerful, and I think makes you a guiding light for others. Let's clarify this moon card. The Nine of Cups. It's like that mystery satisfies you, and you know that. it gives back a lot, and you want more of it. You like the mystery. You're a mystic, definitely, and that's your life purpose, is embracing that mysticism within you, and embracing the unknown, and embracing and sharing with the world that that other side exists, and that you can interact with it. So there's a very strong, I was going to say witchy, I don't know if you associate with that terminology, but you could also say mystic, or just spiritual. Anything like that would be a good description, I think. And again, this is Pisces, so Pisces with Pisces here, you might have significant Pisces placement, but otherwise that's most of your energy. And interesting as well is that because we had two of the I keep forgetting, what's the unknown card again? Judgment. And then the moon here, a very strong Archangel Gabriel's presence here with that moon lunar energy. So that could be part of why you're so attuned to like the mystical, receptive, divine feminine energy, regardless of gender, of course. But let's get some final oracle cards. So it's really all about embracing, meditating, embracing that, and allowing the current to move you out of a situation, because I feel like, again, you're with people, you're in an environment that, and look, underneath it says rest. And that's through meditation. And that's at night a lot. I think a lot of your freedom comes from when everyone else is asleep and you have to deal with that. But let's see. I don't know who this is, but Goddess Pele and Lava Stone melt into divine desire. I think this desire comes from spirituality, so really embrace that. I think it is part of your life purpose, and I think you're being asked to step into it now, and have faith that you'll get out of this situation of the Five of Swords, where there's just other people and they're trying to drag you into the mundane world and you really don't want a part of it. And this kind of ties with this as well. The divine desire is to be like an alchemist, to be a mystic, to be, again, the Queen of Wands is really the witch. She's like the psychic, and I think that's the energy you're meant to be in, and that's really the gift that you have to share with others. It's kind of, especially with crystals, so I don't know if you work with crystals or like work with crystal fairies or something like that, but that healing, that perspective, and the more you embrace what you enjoy in that realm, the more that is going to take you into the next step, into your life purpose, which definitely involves a lot of spiritual stuff. So it's very exciting. Hopefully this reading was helpful, and please let me know how I did in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the Sunstone sphere/orb, which I'm just happen to be matching with this pendant here, so I have, well, a few cards out, I guess. These are pre-shuffled, of course, and one of them is describing why this is urgent. I have some clarifying cards for that, and then 2 tarot cards with the message. What is the urgent message? And then I'm going to elaborate on that with some additional tarot. So this is an urgent message because of the Wheel of Fortune. It does seem as though luck is on your side, and it's helping you navigate to where you're meant to go, or at least opening up all the potential outcomes that are manifest through your desires. And this is clarified by the orbs, which I think is the Death card. The orbs, the Ace of Cups, and then the Romantic. And I'll just say straight away, there's a lot of love energy here. So I don't know if you're looking to be in a relationship, or at least, well, yeah, it's very, very strong relationship energy in this reading. So we have the orbs, the ace of lotuses, and the romantic. And I feel as though part of what makes this urgent is, I guess, this guidance towards a new romance, especially with the death card here. Death card followed by the ace of cups, which is new. Yeah, definitely new emotional energy. And then the romantic, it's kind of like this romantic is riding that wave, very carefree, and allowing the love current to take you. So it's very exciting, and that's what makes it urgent, is like new possibilities are opening up romantically. And this could also, if you don't feel that relationship energy resonates with you, could definitely be with collaboration, with finally meeting like-minded people that share your heart center, share your big heart for the world. It's very pure energy that you have, and it's really opening up now, like now. So let's look into the message. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles, very strong card of collaboration here, navigating through this cave, showing people the way. And then we have the Two of Cups, so definitely a strong sense again of that romantic connection, of sharing the emotional energy with someone. So there's very strong water energy, either in your chart or that you're currently in. And we're going to elaborate on the message that we have so far, but it's really a strong sense of community. I don't know if you felt isolated for a while, but it's really a transition into, I was going to say like-minded people, but not just like-minded, it's kind of like energy people, where you could feel like you could be your truest self, and you could love without holding back, which might have been something that you've had to do, is kind of like direct your love in certain ways or express it in certain ways. You could really express this love energy freely. So we have the Queen of Swords here. It's almost as if you've willed this into being. This was like something you've been asking for a while. And it could have been because of potentially like a broken heart or something like that, where like past really, okay. Five of Swords. It's kind of like after a period of, I was going to say being a little cold-hearted, but guarding your heart center, not trusting people, taking part in, I guess, petty arguments and petty fights. You're finally free to love again in a very liberating way. We have the Ten of... I feel like this is describing the energy you've been in. With the Queen of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Ten of Wands is very heavy, very dense, battlefield, dragging energy, and it's moving you out of that. And I think, especially with the life map, it's this little spark. There's this potential, especially with the Death card here, the orbs. You're manifesting a new reality where you could... it's like a transition of phase where you could take it easy finally with the romantic here. You could finally take it easy instead of, having to be the Queen of Wands and navigate a lot of mental, just battling people and fighting people and being discerning, and kind of, it's been an ability that you can have, is knowing when people are not being honest, and you could see right through, but that also has hardened you up a little bit, and now it's time to kind of apply that mental wisdom, that that intuitive sense into stepping into more ease, that you could trust yourself now. You've gone through it. You've dealt with people who are not honest, who have lied and been deceitful, and who kind of latch on to you with petty arguments. You've had enough of that, and it's time to move forward. You have the Three of Cups. Showing you Three of Cups and Two of Cups. So it's going from people who are dragging you down to people who accept you and bring you up. There's a very sharp difference between those energies. And we have the Emperor. Yeah. Now, if you could see that, it was just orange. It's just an orange card. I want to clarify this Emperor, actually. Actually, let's clarify all of them. Clarify all of these cards. That's annoying. Do you hear that? So the Queen of Swords was clarified by the Moon card. So yeah, definitely cutting through illusions. That's been where you've been at, really. And you're very good at it now. And it doesn't have to be... It's almost like you've been looking out for deceit because you've encountered so much of it. And I think this has to do with finally embracing the possibility that there's actually decent people out there that aren't always trying to lie, who aren't always trying to bring you down or other people down. That collective does exist, and I think you're drawing it in just from, again, sheer desire that you've just had enough of. It's like you've created a reality that branches out into these possibilities. I'm shaking, like, I don't know, a friendship, and it's coming from the same center. It's coming from you. So it's kind of like these aspects of who you are manifesting into reality, really. And then we have the Queen of Wands, the Lovers. Yeah, lots. I mean, lots of... we have the romantic, we have the Two of Cups, Three of Pentacles, Three of Cups, lots of community, lots of connecting with people. The Ten of Wands with the Lovers card clarifying it. Part of this could be potentially like guidance to leave a relationship so that you can embrace another relationship. And then we have the Death card underneath the Three of Cups. There's like a little hint of maybe infidelity. I don't know. Just please take what resonates. But otherwise, it's like the end of being alone, or the end of being with people who aren't aligned with you anymore. And then we have the Judgment, which clarified the Emperor. The Judgment came out in the last reading as well a lot, so I don't know if you're drawn to that too, but I think part of what you're meant to be is the Emperor, is a leader, and that's kind of shown with the Three of Pentacles, is your ability to lead people out of situations that they don't need to be in. It's like you lead people towards... I wouldn't be surprised if you were someone who connects two potential lovers together. But I feel as though most of what you've been through has... you might have been through quite a few relationships, and you've learned a lot about yourself through these relationships, and you've grown a lot, and you've kind of recognized your shadow self through other people. And that puts you in a position of authority here. Your ability to know what's really good for you and what isn't. And it's really interesting because it's like this Queen of Wands was underneath the moon, so it's more of a battle of the mind, of being able to see, and she would normally have a sword up. The Emperor it's not really the elevated form of that, but I feel like that's what you're becoming, in that the Emperor is so bright that nothing that isn't honest can even approach the Emperor. Like, there's a very strong authoritative figure here, and I think that's what you're becoming. I'm saying that because the Judgment card is here. That you're becoming that Emperor, that you're becoming really a force for good to be reckoned with, that people can't even bother trying to lie to or be deceitful, because you're very firm within yourself. You're very secure. You could even take the Lover's card as uniting with yourself, uniting with all aspects of who you are, and that's what makes you so powerful. I feel maybe people would have past relationships, or just work relationships or anything like that. They could have tried to attack you through your shadow, if that makes sense. It's like, if you're triggered by other people's actions, but you have a fuller understanding of just the shadow in general. You have an understanding of why people lie. You have a good sense of that, and now you're really secure within yourself. This is it's kind of like a oneness. Okay. So I have a Goddess Oracle card just to see what energies are with you now, supporting you through this stage of your life. Okay, and we have Goddess Isis with the Isis crystal. She shall always prevail. So this is probably a goddess that you're connected to, even if you're male or female. I think part of that prevailing is this battle energy. It's like you win through love. And again, Isis, I associate as a lunar goddess, but definitely someone who sees through the illusions. Definitely. There's this sense of ascension here, this unveiling to your true power. And that's what's coming through now. It's a transition into only attracting light beings and collaborating with them. So, overall, I feel like you've been through a lot, but now it's finally a time of positive transition. So hopefully this reading connects with you. You're able to resonate with it. If you enjoyed it, please like and comment. Just let me know how I did. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care.